The Whispering Woods. Years ago, on the outskirts of a small, forgotten town, there was a forest known as the Whispering Woods. The locals never dared to venture into it, especially after dark. The forest had a reputation. Those who entered often returned, changed, if they returned at all. One evening, a curious young man named Alex decided to explore the Whispering Woods. He had always been fascinated by the tales of the forest, dismissing them as mere superstitions. Armed with a flashlight and a skeptical mind, he ventured into the trees as the sun began to set. As Alex walked deeper into the forest, the light from his flashlight seemed to grow dimmer, swallowed by the dense, creeping fog that rolled in. The trees, twisted and gnarled, loomed overhead, their branches like skeletal hands reaching out to him. The silence was deafening, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves. Suddenly, Alex heard a faint whisper. He paused, straining to hear. The whispers grew louder, echoing around him. They were indistinct at first, but soon he could make out words. "Turn back. Leave. You don't belong here." A chill ran down his spine, but he pressed on, convinced it was just his imagination. The whispers, however, became more insistent, more urgent. He tried to ignore them, focusing on the path ahead, but the voices seemed to be everywhere, surrounding him. In a clearing, Alex stumbled upon an old, decrepit cabin. Its windows were broken, and the door hung loosely on its hinges. Despite his fear, he felt an inexplicable pull towards it. As he approached, the whispers turned into agonized cries, pleading for him to leave. Ignoring the warnings, Alex stepped inside the cabin. The air was thick with the stench of decay. He shone his flashlight around, revealing a room filled with dusty, ancient furniture and strange symbols carved into the walls. In the center of the room was a large, ornate mirror, its glass cracked and tarnished. Drawn to the mirror, Alex felt compelled to look into it. As he did, his reflection began to warp and twist, his face contorting into a grotesque mask of horror. The whispers turned into screams, and a shadowy figure appeared behind him in the mirror, its eyes glowing with malevolence. Frozen in terror, Alex tried to tear his gaze away, but he was rooted to the spot. The figure reached out from the mirror, its cold, clammy hand gripping his shoulder. The touch was icy, sapping the warmth from his body. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. With a final, desperate effort, Alex broke free and fled the cabin, the whispers and screams following him. He ran through the forest, branches scratching at his face and arms, until he finally burst out into the open. He collapsed on the ground, gasping for breath, the whispers fading away. From that day on, Alex was never the same. He rarely spoke, his eyes haunted by what he had seen. The people of the town knew better than to ask him about the Whispering Woods. They could see the terror in his eyes, the way he would startle at the slightest sound. The forest remained as it always had, whispering its dark secrets to those who dared to listen. I hope you enjoyed the shortened version.